There's more drama linked to the partial government shutdown.
And it involves the president's State of the Union address. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Ryan has details of this controversy. Dave?
Yeah, the House Speaker had invited the president to speak, which is traditional, for the State of the Union, before the shutdown. Now things have changed. This may be a first. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi from San Francisco has contacted the president now to say that as long as the government shutdown is still going on and some Homeland Security employees are furloughed or not showing up, it probably wouldn't be a good idea for him to deliver the State of the Union address at the Capitol as currently scheduled. It's a piece of American political tradition, the President of the United States outlining his plans for the coming year in a January address to a joint session of Congress at the Capitol. But this year, that tradition could become the latest victim of the 26-day-old government shutdown.
Please support essential.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wrote to President Trump asking that he delay or cancel what could be his most important speech of the year, the State of the Union address. The letter proposes delaying the address, scheduled for January 29th, because of security concerns, because the Secret Service and other agencies have been hamstrung by furloughs, the fallout from the government shutdown.
This requires hundreds of people working on the logistics and the security of it. Most of those people are either furloughed or victims of the shutdown.
Pelosi suggested that President Trump is still welcome to make the address, just not on Capitol Hill as long as the government shutdown continues.
You can make it from the Oval Office if you want.
Or, she wrote, he could submit the speech in writing. But Pelosi's allegation that the shutdown has compromised security for the State of the Union night is debatable. The Department of Homeland Security says it could secure the State of the Union. In response, a Pelosi spokesperson later told CBS News that a furloughed DHS employee had, quote, expressed serious concerns that the department has insufficient staffing levels to secure the event.
What is the State of the Union? The government is closed because of President Trump.
Meanwhile, the government shutdown is now approaching its fourth week, and affected government workers are running out of dollars and patience.
I'm out here as, a federal worker. My kids are affected by this.
With few signs of any real movement to end the shutdown, federal workers rallied at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport demanding they be paid for their work. And in Northern California Wednesday, after a 3.4 magnitude earthquake in the Oakland Hills, there was little information available to residents and reporters since the USGS office in Menlo Park was locked up tight, the seismologists and other employees furloughed by the shutdown. Even White House economic advisors acknowledge that the impact of the shutdown has been worse than they expected, dropping economic growth about 0.1% each week.
We're focused on the long-term economic principles that the president's laid out.
Now, some lawmakers from both parties are suggesting reopening the government for at least a few weeks to buy a little more time to reach an agreement. But the White House turned thumbs down to that.
If you got a better idea, do it. I don't think you're going to find any way forward with the government closed.
Okay, now back to that Pelosi letter on the State of the Union again for a moment. On the one hand, the Secret Service has been affected by the shutdown, and the State of the Union is a massive security job with virtually every major national leader present. But on the other hand, Pelosi may just have some political motives as well, because the speech would give President Trump an opportunity to hammer away at the Democrats over the shutdown and the border wall, with millions of Americans watching. Juan, back to you.
We'll see what happens. Dave, thank you.